Rimuru's Journey for His Beloved Arifureta from Commonplace to World's Strongest by Sakura-Arashi. The Great Dungeon. The next day the party gathered around the square just in front of the Orcus dungeon entrance. The students was escorted by knights just in case anything happens. The students imagined a dark gloomy entrance, but the entrance looked like the entrance to a museum. Heck, it even had a reception desk for the entrance. After Eld had checked everyone that was supposed to be there was present, they all entered the dungeon. The inside of the dungeon was totally different to the bustling of the outside. There is not much ambient light, but in front was a passage that emitted light. The passage was about 5 meters high and wide. It was possible to see to some extent even without any magical light or torches. Special green stones, that were buried in the walls, emitted light to brighten the dungeon. Orcus dungeon seemed like it had a huge vein of these green stones. As they enter the dungeon nothing of interest was happening. Well, that was the case until they advanced into a hall. The hall was dome-shaped and the ceiling looked to be around 78 meters high. Gray fluffy balls gushed out from the surfaces of the wall. Okay, Kuki's group stepped forward. Anyone else fall back. We will take shifts for the front line. Get ready. These monsters are called ratmen. They aren't that strong, but that doesn't mean they're not dangerous. Their speed is what makes them dangerous, so advance steadily, Meld said. The students were placed into separate groups for the front line. Rimuru is grouped up with Shizuku while Kaori is grouped up with Nagumo. Just like Meld said, the ratman jumped at Kuki's group with great speed, but Kuki blocked it with his shield. Kuki and his group intercepted all the ratmen that came out while Kaori's group healed up Kuki's group or buffed them up. Kuki wielded his white shining bastard sword so quickly that it was hard to see the motions for the others. Only Shizuku and Rimuru could follow it. He quickly made short work of a few enemies. His sword was one of the artifacts that the kingdom gave to him. It was called the Holy Sword, which only the hero could wield. Kuki, having the hero class, was given the best armor the kingdom had. Flashback. Everyone was receiving high-level artifacts and weapons for them to use. Kaori was given a staff while Shizuku was given a katana because of her samurai ties and her swordsmanship. Kuki was given a holy sword only wielded by a hero that weakens enemy, and even Nagumo was given a glove that lessened his mana use. Hey you there, Rimuru, take this. These are high-level gears and artifacts, Meld said. No, I don't need it, I answered flatly. Aren't you being too arrogant? Just because you're strong doesn't mean you don't need gears, Kuki said. No, it's not because I am strong, it's because of this. Rimuru said as he uses his mana materialization. Rimuru showed off what he looked like in his battle mode that he will rarely use because his standard outfit is enough for him. Rimuru was covered in a black outfit with a straight katana on his back along with a mask that materializes whenever he wants to, like Star-Lord's mask, but this one looked like Shizu's mask. That's so cool, and I thought I wouldn't be impressed anymore, Shizuku said. But isn't that just an outfit? Wouldn't an actual armor be better than that? Kuki said. No, my mana is a lot better in quality than anyone else, making the things that materialize better than anything. I don't believe that. I am sure my hero sword can easily cut you down, Kuki said with pride. Then strike me as hard as you can, I won't even move, Rimuru replied. Huh, why would I do that? I might end up wounding you, Kuki said. Yeah, Rimuru, that's foolish, Shizuki said with concern on her voice. Do it, Kuki, nothing will happen if you do it. Well, if you're the one suggesting, then I'll do it. Oi oi oi, Kuki, don't. Kuki ignored what Shizuku said and striked at Rimuru with his strength. Clank. Kuki's sword hit Rimuru's chest, but it didn't penetrate, instead it was stopped by Rimuru's outfit. What? Kuki was confused, his strike didn't even scratch Rimuru's outfit. No way, Meld said in surprise. I didn't think you were this strong, Rimuru, Shizuku said. Ha ha ha, see, I told you, but it does use up my mana. So if my armor does get damage, I am gonna need my mana to fix it again. That's annoying cause it means I am gonna have to keep using mana whenever it does get damaged. Rimuru, how much mana does it cost you to materialize that? Meld curiously asked. About 200, why? Everyone was dumbfounded with that. If you remember, Kuki's mana when he was level 10 was 200, meaning even if he did have the skill mana materialization, then he wouldn't have enough mana to do anything else. Welp, it's clear now, Rimuru is a cheater. Yeah, and he doesn't even have common sense, they were saying. Flashback end. They noticed that all the ratmen were wiped out. The other students didn't get a turn. It seemed like that the enemies on the first level were too weak for Kuki's party. Great job, as expects from the hero's party, next is Shizuku's group. Meld warned not to let up, but he smiled at the prowess the students showed. However, the tension from their first experience at encountering monsters in a dungeon could not be stopped. Their reactions was, smiling. Soon they reached floor 20. This floor is the mark of a first-class adventurer. The highest level explored was the 65th floor for Orcus Dungeon. This achievement was done by adventurers over 100 years ago. Getting to the 40th level is considered elite first class. Those who passed the 20th level was considered first class. Since all the students were cheats, they easily broke through to the 20th level, even if they did not have much experience. Traps were the scariest feature of a dungeon. In some instances, the traps were lethal. There was something called fair scope for the lower levels. This is a gadget that detected traps by feeling flow of magic. Because most traps in a dungeon use magic, the fair scope can detect more than 80% of traps. Alright, you guys. From this point on, not only will there be other types of monsters but they will work together to attack us. Do not get careless just because it had been easy so far. After we clear the 20th level, it will be it for today. Get fired up. Shizuku and Rimuru would often look at each other from time to time, but even so Shizuku still teased Kaori that was doing the same thing with Nagumo. Hey Kaori, you and Nagumo seem to be looking at each other a lot, could it be you're considering a romantic comedy in a dungeon? Shizuku said. Kaori blushed at the teasing but instantly refuted it. It's not like that, okay, Shizuku-chan, I am just wondering if Nagumo's okay. Really? Shizuku said, pushing more. She knows that's not the only reason, so she decided to tease her more. Well, aren't you one to talk? What do you mean? Shizuku was confused at what Kaori was talking about. You and Rimuru was alone in a room last night, I wonder what happened then. What are you talking about? Rimuru just came to talk with me. Really? Then what was the stain on the bed? That was the sauce for the sushi that I spilled, okay, that was nothing. Shizuku said in a panic. She was getting embarrassed because some of their classmate was hearing their conversation. Fufufu, have you and Rimuru finally did it? Suzu said. What, no. We haven't yet. No, I mean we haven't. They stopped teasing each other before things could get more embarrassing for them. While this was happening, Hajime was feeling a gaze. It was unlike anything else. It was full of anger and jealousy. He has felt things like this before, but this time was different. This felt grave. I wonder what it is. Did I do something? I thought I was doing my best even if I was incompetent. I wonder if that's the cause. Hajime thought. The party searches the 20th level. Each level of the dungeon was several kilometers in each direction. It would take dozens of people several months to map out an unknown level. 47 levels have been mapped properly, so it was not that easy to get lost. While walking for a while, Kuki's group and Meld stopped and all the students with a high sensed ready their guards up. Their camouflage. Make sure to pay attention to your surroundings. Meld said, advising them. The wall suddenly rose and discolored a bit. The body that was camouflaged was now dark brown, and they stood on two legs. It raised its chest and started to pound on it like a drum. When they took a good look at it, it was a gorilla-like demon with a camouflage ability. Rock mounts. Be careful of their arms, they are strong. Meld said. Kuki's party went to engage them when the one of the rock mount threw a punch towards Ryutaro. Ryutaro was barely able to defend against the rock mount's punch, but nevertheless he was able to do it. When the rock mount felt that he could not pass by Ryutaro, it withdrew a bit and inhaled a deep breath. Goo ga ga ga. A shock ran through their bodies. It did not damage them, but it froze them. This was Rockmount's special magic, intimidating roar. The roar carried the magic that caused the temporary paralysis, freezing everyone. Kuki's group took on the roar close to point blank. This caused them to freeze momentarily. The Rockmount took this gap in defense to attack. The Rockmount picked up a boulder and threw it straight at Kaori's group. The boulder thrown wasn't a boulder, it was another Rockmount. Since the students was frozen, they couldn't do anything to avoid getting directly hit. Damn it. I can't move, Kaori. Kuki screamed, seeing Kaori about to get hit. Just as Kaori was about to get hit by the flying rockmount, Rimuru jumped up and swiftly cut its head like it was nothing. Actually, Rimuru was located at the middle of the formation. Meld has told Rimuru not to fight if not necessary so that his classmates can grow stronger. Because Rimuru was in the middle of the formation, he can quickly go to whoever needs help. Rimuru followed this, but when Kaori was about to get hit, Rimuru didn't stand still and easily decapitated the rockmount. Rimuru, thanks, Kaori said. No problem, keep your focus, Kaori, I am only gonna interrupt if necessary. Alright, thanks Rimuru, she said as she turns her attention back at the rockmount in front of Kuki. They're a person that got mad at such a situation. Our very own mass of justice, Amanokawa Kuki. How dare you attack defenseless people, I won't forgive you. Kuki shouts as he points his blade towards the rockmount. Myriad of soaring wings, reach the heavens, soaring flash. Kuki chanted, sending in a destructive light piercing the rockmount and hitting the back wall. Fool, Meld thought. Debris started to fly towards Kaori and the others from the damaged wall. Thankfully, Rimuru deployed a barrier stopping the debris. Kuki had just defeated the monster that threatened the girls. He returned to them with a sparkling smile, who was met by Meld's smack to the head. Ow, what was that for? Kuki asked, confused, he thinking he had just saved the girls from the threat. Fool, don't use a reckless attack like that, always look at your surrounding before attacking. Meld said, rebuking Kuki and making him apologize. The student's attention was diverted by Kaori. What is that? It's sparkling, Kaori said. Everyone looked at the wall Kaori was mentioning. There, blooming on the wall, were minerals that radiated pale light. It was like a crystal covered in indicolite. The girls were enchanted by the beautiful sight of the crystals. Oh, what a surprise, that's a Grant's crystal that tends to be popular with the ladies, Meld said. Lovely. It's beautiful, Kaori and Shizuku said while blushing, but only Rimuru and Nagumo noticed this. Well, in that case I'll retrieve it, Hayama said. Stop, you idiot. We haven't checked if it's safe yet, Meld said, trying to stop Hayama. Hayama pretended not to hear and finally arrived in front of the crystal. Meld chased after Hayama to stop him. At that moment, one of the knight finished his analysis with the fair scope. He paled at the result. Commander, it's a trap, the knight said, but it was already too late. The moment Hayama touched the crystal, magic started coming out of it. Open double angle bracket, master should not cancel the trap, Seal said as Rimuru was about to cancel it. Huh, why? Open double angle bracket. Open double angle bracket, it will serve as a good lesson, also don't worry, there wouldn't be any problem, Seal said. Rimuru of course followed Seal. In a blink of an eye, the magic circle spread throughout the whole room, and it gradually shined brighter. It was like a replication of the magic that summoned them. Get out now, Meld said, but it was too late. The magic had activated and split the group into two. Rimuru and the knights was teleported to a room filled with monsters while the rest was transported to a large bridge deeper underground. No one knows about this, but Seal was actually the one who separated them for Hajime to grow, as she knows everything, even if it means hurting her master. Quickly the students moved. However, a trap in a dungeon was not going to be so easy. The retreat wasn't that easy. Monsters emerged from the magic circles that appeared on both sides of the bridge. On one side was a huge monster. The other had a large amount of monsters. Meld was frozen, just staring at the giant demon as he mutters. No way, it's a behemoth.